Hi, good evening, everybody. So we're gonna look at some X-rays together just to show you pre and post and how patient is doing. I just want to explain some things that we do here in the clinic and how it works out. All right, here we go. So this is what a foot looks like right there. Okay, ankle bone, heel bone, cuboid bone, navicular, cuneiforms, metatarsals, and toes. So what we look at in the X-ray is we look for these structures as we look at them straight up, as well as side angle too. So there you go. We're going to take a look at them together. So here's the ankle bone right here. This is the heel bone. This is the navicular bone, cuneiforms, cuboid, metatarsals, and toes up here. And what we do is we look at how this is operating. So this is the ankle bone that's going to hit into the navicular bone. Navicular bone then articulates with 1, 2, 3. Then the heel bone goes back to the ankle bone goes to the heel bone, and the heel bone goes to cuboid for 5. So the foot is actually inside portion, outside portion, connected in this area. So when you do here, when you're looking at this bone here, you see there's a little bit of a neck and a head, and that little neck head thing should be direction of the force. So if I push the direction of the force right there in the midline, it should be pointing to the second toe right there. And in this patient, it was not, as you can see. So when that happens, the neck and head here is the line of force, navicular, second toe, and it's not pointing to the second toe. Instead, it was pointing inwards. So if you think of my hand here being heel bone on the floor, fifth toe here, big toe here, triangular pyramid on the floor here, the ankle bone is the top of that pyramid. And when the ankle bone is twisting against the big toe bone then maneuvers in. It goes down. As it does that, it causes bunion formation, it causes all kinds of problems. And the twist here is causing issues. And so that's what I'm looking for on the X-rays. So this is a bottom view of the foot. Again, talus, calcaneus, ankle bone, heel bone, midfoot, big toe bone. And if you can see here, there's like 2 different pieces of bones sitting underneath here. And if you look from the top on that area, these bones should be equidistant from a midline. So if I draw a midline here, those bones should be equally distant. So as you can see here, if I draw a midline here, this one particular bone should be equidistant from that midline with this particular bone. So these 2 bones here should be equidistant from a midline, and they're not. And the reason behind it is the push of the force back here. So the push of the force back here is pushing it inwards. So the top bone moves in, so that it rotates the head out this way and causes the bunion formation, hammer toes, all these things, and bunionette. And it causes the wide angle of the foot. You can see how wide the whole foot is together. It's not together, it's widened. The whole foot is wide because it's trying to capture more ground. On a side angle, you can see that the heel bone is not sitting on the floor very well, but it is a little bit of a spur right there. A bump right here is called the Hagland. Bump right here is called styloid process, and there should be a hole right here, and it's not there. And that hole is called the sinus tarsi, and it's collapsing a little bit. Cymulon looks good, but then there's a little bit of elevation of the first metatarsal. So with the whole thing the way it is, we're having issues with heel pain, ankle pain, all these things. So what we did is we went in and fixed some of this, and I'm going to show you. So during surgery, we outline this hole where it's supposed to be there, and we look for it via our guide. Then we start to size it. So we put different sizes in there to see which one fits better, and it's not going to block completely all the motion, but block some of the motion. And we keep moving with the size of these a little bit bigger at a time until we find one that will fit nice and it looks good. Then we stop. So we like this size, we stop at that size. And then this picture we take as the patient is sleeping. So we actually are loading the foot against the leg, and we see where the heel sits. And as you can see, the leg is coming down, the heel is going away from the midline. And then we move on to the next picture, and you can see when I put in the sizer that we need, the foot aligns beautiful with the actual leg with no problems. But when we do that and we put it in place and then we load the foot as if we're standing on the ground, the first metatarsal is elevated. When that elevation is happening, that causes the peroneus not to work very well, and the foot will be like this, and the foot would be something like that. We don't want that. So then we shimmy in this bone here, we open it up and we shimmy a piece of bone inside there. And as you can see here, we're trying to measure how much do we need to bring this down where it should be, and it is down with this much bone. So then we put the piece of bone in there, moving that down. But still, this is not doing what it's supposed to do. So after surgery, right after surgery, this is the final result. This is sitting inside where it should be, opening up the hole. This is bringing this down where it should be. Now we have a beautiful arch, good symoline, good tibiofibular complex. The whole thing is very, very good. So this is like 2.5 months after the fact, and you can definitely see that the bone here is incorporating. It looks good. The plate and screws are holding it in place. This is the stent holding the whole thing in place, and it's nice and straight. Remember how it was going inwards. And the toes are looking good. The whole foot is nice. And look at those two bones. Compare those to what it was before. I'll put a comparison picture in a few minutes. So you can see the old picture here, and this is the midline, and the one bone here is away from the midline about 5 millimeters, whereas the other one is smack right underneath her. And that's before the surgery. We didn't touch this area at all, whereas we only worked on the back end of it. And this is now. This is now, and you can see that the two bones are equally distant from the midline. Very nicely done. The actual bones went back to where normal should be. Well, so now there is no more bunion. Before there was a bunion trying to form. And as you can see here, there was a little bit of bowing going on. You can see the bowing. Whereas now the bowing is gone completely. No more bowing. So we're correcting the bunion by correcting the forces acting on the bunion. So the bunion itself is a byproduct of the force that was causing it. So this is the cause of the bunion, and that's basically back here. And now when I corrected this back here and made it straight, the bunion is correcting and it looks good. The other side doesn't look good, so we need to do the other side afterwards. Again, we have a problem, we corrected the problem, and the symptoms are gone away without us touching anything in that area. You can see here the toes are nice and tight, whereas here they have a splay. The metatarsals are splayed out because they want to catch more ground. Over here, the metatarsals don't have to catch more ground. They're where they should be. So the second, third, and fourth metatarsal, second, third, fourth metatarsal are doing what they're supposed to do, which is basically be in the high of the arch, whereas here they're flattening on the floor so they can catch more ground. Definitely different between the two. So I do a measurement. Before it was 92.5, the whole splay, millimeters, which is 9 centimeters, 2.5 millimeters, and then this one here is 88.3, which is 8 centimeters and 8 millimeters, 0.3. So it has gone down already in the 3 month, not even 3 month, about 2.5 month, now that we have the patient, about 4 millimeter difference, and that made the splay become better right away. So I hope this explains some of the stuff for you. If you have any questions, by all means ask. I'm here to answer any questions that you guys may have. By all means, let me know. Okay? Well, anyway, don't forget to look into our website and then our YouTube channel. We have a lot of different things in there. And again, if you want anything else explained, let me know.